Thanks, Cyril. How many times do you hear this phrase at home? You're not listening to me. Often children may feel parents aren't hearing what they have to say, and parents feel their kids have tuned them out as well. Listening is an important skill both at home and at school, and we're getting listening tips this morning from Laura Lee Burgess of Oxford Learning. Good morning.
Good morning,
I better
honey.
listen during this segment, boys.
Yes, we have a few tips that will help, hopefully, a little bit at home and at school.
It's funny that we find listening hard sometimes, but sometimes it's just we're so busy doing whatever else we're doing that we forget about it.
That's right. If you're trying to do too many things at the same time and you're kind of half listening, then chances are you're not going to remember a whole lot of what you've heard or agreed to.
So this is good for parents and kids because, of course, kids will learn by example.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so first thing parents should do.
First thing is use your child's name before you give an instruction. So very often what we might do is say, "Time for supper, Heidi," and you might say, "What?" So
I just heard the Heidi part, not the other stuff.
And that's what happens all the time, right? The kids go, "What?" They're doing something else. So their name is their cue that you're about to say something. But if there's nothing after that, all they've heard is their name.
Right.
So try using their name first, and then I always suggest a slight pause so that it gives them a chance to say, "Okay,
oh, that's me.
Yep, mom or dad's going to say something," and then give your instruction. So doing it that way, try to turn it around, use their name first, slight pause, and instruction, you'll get more
response.
Absolutely.
What about the tone of one's voice or how one speaks?
Yeah, so oftentimes when kids don't listen, we tend to get louder. I know I certainly do.
Higher?
Absolutely. So one of the things to try is make sure that your kids are looking at you directly in the eyes, but lower your voice. So if you lower your voice, your kids have to work a little harder to hear you, and that's going to help them focus a little bit. So try, get close to them. You can reach out and touch them, put your hand on their hand, look them in the eye, and lower your voice. So they have to try a little harder to hear what you're saying.
To hear what you're saying. Okay, perk up those ears, even though they can hear way more in the frequency range than us old folks can. Now, what about practice? Is this something that you can actually practice doing?
It is, for sure. So if you talk to your kids about what they've seen on TV, what they did at school today, asking sort of open-ended questions. If they're telling you a story, say, "Tell me more," or "Really, I'm interested. What happened next?" Getting them to have a conversation will really help, both them listening, them knowing that you're listening to them, but also make sure that that time is undivided attention. So that's, sometimes it's hard, but not talking to them when you're on the phone or, when you're trying to do something else. Really give them that attention so that they know when they're talking, that you're listening, and they'll do the same.
The same for you. And those responses sound much better than like,
exactly.
Which we often fall into. So some of those responses like, "Oh, really? Tell me more," gets them to
That's right. It's more of a conversation starter as well, and it gets them to express themselves a little bit better than if they just, if it was just yes and no answers.
What about the kinds of things you say?
Make sure that you're finding things to praise them on. Even little things that you think are expected to do. If you praise kids, it makes them feel more open. You're noticing, you're listening. They're more likely to come to you when they have something to say if they know that
they feel supported.
That's right.
Right. So that makes sense, too. So try to keep it positive, even if you have to talk to them about something serious, right?
That's right. Keep it positive. Have a conversation about what it is and what, not just that they're in trouble, but what can we do about this? You're listening to their feelings. They're listening. It really is good practice.
And apparently the 3 little words, "I love you," can help with listening.
That's true. It's amazing. If kids, it's something that is really simple, but at all ages, for them to hear that, it almost opens them up to listen. So using, "I love you," so that they know that I'm sure they know you love them, but really using that to make sure that they're aware of that. They're feeling, again, more supported, more willing to listen, and knowing that you're listening to them too.
Yeah, might change the tone of the household.
That's right.
As well, if everybody feels supported. So that's amazing.
That's right.
Yeah, good advice.
Try a few things and see
how it goes.
Yep,
Thank you so much for this.
You're welcome.
I listened closely. I'm sure Elise did too, but now we're going to listen to Elise give